Yes Have Some podcast is brought to you by Carnivorous Creations, your one-stop shop for all of your Proton Pack building needs. If you're in the market for a Proton Pack, head to carnivorouscreations.com. That's carnivorous with a K. You're going to find aluminum motherboards, resin parts, fiberglass shells, and a whole lot more. Find them on Facebook at Carnivorous Creations or head straight to carnivorouscreations.com, remember carnivorous with a K, and get started on an authentic, screen-accurate Proton Pack.
Everything's under control. Situation normal.
I don't want to grow up bomb. Do you want some?
Jurassic Park. Now playing at PS7.
Ecto goggles with Ecto Buffer, Neutron Blaster, and Water Zapper, each sold separately.
From the corner penthouse of Spook Central all the way to Star Killer Base, this is Yes Have Some podcast.
Do I? Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
You know, they told me you people were conceited douchebags.
The only place in the multiverse where you can love the book, hate the movie, but still buy all the toys.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a Jedi Master.
What?
Please remember to hold on to your butts and get ready to get stressed. With your hosts, Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, and Jacob Walsh.
He loves you. God loves you. God loves each and every one of you. Jake, don't you feel that way?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Sorry.
There he goes again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. This is episode 106.
Yes,
and we are live here in Atlanta, Georgia, as always. And for not the first time ever, for the same as always, but I wouldn't have it any other way, I want to introduce you to my co-hosts, Abigail Gardner.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And Jacob Walsh.
What's up?
Oh, Jake, take your time.
It's like pulling teeth with this one. Jake,
Get him with it.
Here's the thing. Jake is in...
Jake was just going to get up and leave.
Jake is in full Quint gear right now. There he is. And,
we get a stranger on the podcast.
Well, what do you... Jake's not in full Quint gear, but he's in, like, casual Quint.
Yeah.
Sure. Younger Quint, maybe.
Younger Quint. When he was just hanging out before. So I had this theory today, and I've had this theory before. Please forgive me.
Babyface Quint.
But is Helen Hunt in Twister? Her character is a lot like Quint.
She's been wronged by nature, and
is she?
She's out for
a tornado.
vengeance.
A tornado, like a shark, took everything from her, and she made it her business, come hell or high water, to hunt down said tornado. Because I have talked about this before. I think that the F5 Twister at the end of the movie Twister is the same tornado that took her dad when she was 6 years old.
So you're thinking that a tornado can manifest and just sustain itself and then return as the same?
It was in hiding.
If a shark can live for 100 years, why can't a tornado?
I mean, we give them names.
It's literally science.
Yeah.
We don't. Hold on, Abby. I'm calling you.
We don't give them names.
We don't give tornadoes names.
We should. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just go out there and say I think we should name them all, especially the F5.
Every tornado.
Matters.
So with a hurricane, it develops over like a couple of weeks. Tornadoes can happen instantaneously. So maybe somebody's job could be... There needs to be an app that's a tornado name generator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
yes, Have Some's going to start that.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, guys, this just in from Fulton County. We got a tornado warning. We need a name. Kathy. All right. Okay, Kathy's already gone. False alarm. Welcome, everybody, to Yes Have Some podcast. It's the 4th of July. Abby, how are you celebrating the 4th this year?
I want to celebrate by using the tornado name generator, but it doesn't exist yet. But honestly, I'm going to celebrate by lighting some fireworks after we finish recording that I've been saving since last year. I have like a stash, so.
Well, it's still daylight right now, so we got some time.
Yeah, we've got time.
Jake, anything special for your 4th of July celebration?
No.
Okay.
Just
I don't know. I don't really do anything special. 4th of July just reminds me of Jaws, and sometimes I'll watch Jaws or at least think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much as far as my 4th of July celebrations go. I just don't care.
Well, maybe we'll have some fireworks on the show tonight. That'll suffice.
Probably they set them off around here too. Like they've been going off like since Friday. People have been every night.
I'm gonna drop some audio fireworks.
I was hoping our chemistry would be making fireworks.
I like that.
Okay.
Do you?
Well, listen, I'm glad you brought up Jaws. There's a couple Jaws things I wanted to talk about right off the top. Abby, what are you busting open?
A Coke Zero. I got stressed, but it's a Coke Zero.
Hey, what's the name on the side of that thing?
Let's take a peek. Soulmate. Don't worry, guys. I'm everyone's soulmate.
Hey, they've given up the Coca-Cola name generator has stopped trying.
No, they're just like hero, leader, soulmate. Everyone wants.
They're just naming it after the first thing they see. Like I opened
it's like
up
what we're all after collection.
Microphone.
I bought a Coke the other day. I looked at the side. It just
Skype
said post office. I was like, okay. Psychologically, I feel like I should be smarter than the marketing for Coke, but I get very excited trying to find my own name on the can of a Coke. Mm-hmm. What is that? Is that? Am I a Forrest Gump?
I mean, everybody wants to see themselves represented.
I think probably a lot of people get excited for seeing the name. I don't know.
Yeah.
You do go through the whole line of them.
I go through all of them. I'm so dumb. I'm looking for,
then not buy them.
Yeah.
You just every store you go to, like, I gotta look through the Cokes first. Hold on, Mom. I gotta look through the Cokes, and then you don't buy a Coke.
He's coming.
I keep having I don't know. I think in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if I find one that just says Peter Venkman?
I knew you were going.
You never know. It could be a trickster.
John Locke.
Wait, why haven't they done an exclusive?
Or it says we have to go back, Kate.
Ooh, I love Lost.
Ooh,
I do
a
like
Lost, like a Dharma Initiative soda bottle collection with the names on them.
I want to find one that says Mr.
Wait,
DNA.
Is there not a Dharma drop box that's a monthly box service of Lost memorabilia?
There wouldn't be enough subscribers.
We're gonna start it.
I think we're a few years past that.
Behind.
Cool. It's like, oh, cool! I got my Dharma box in the mail. What was it? Peanut butter,
ranch
toilet
dressing.
paper.
I still want it.
Oh, what'd you get? A compass.
Just a giant jar of warm mayonnaise.
Yeah.
With a Dharma logo.
A fish biscuit.
Oh, God. Sawyer, you son of a bitch. Listen. Hey, normal episode. Hey, there's a new listener right now listening going, whoa, I like this podcast. They talked about Lost and Twister. In 2 weeks, they're going to be like, I'm fucking sick of this.
So sick of it.
Every episode.
Opening light discussion. It's like our icebreaker combos.
No, but for real, I wanted to bring up Jaws.
We should... No, Craig, we should start putting that in the description of every episode. This week, we talked about Lost and Twister, but put that at the end of the description for every episode.
It's always hard when people are like, oh, cool, you have a podcast. What's it about? And then I'm like, it's almost like I'm ashamed to tell them.
Stick around for our Gremlins 3 pitch.
Yeah.
In the end of every single
what we're saying is here's the deal. I wanted to talk about Jaws with you guys. Hot take. Jaws is getting more popular. Somehow. Mm-hmm. I have seen... It's not a hot take. Other than the fact that it's July. Fucking Jesus. I have seen... Okay, I know Mondo put out the Jaws print, and it was a big discussion among our friends and everything. But just social media, I've seen so many people post the picture of the mayor from Jaws with yesterday, for Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July. Yeah. I don't recall seeing that in years past as much.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's out there. It's in the social consciousness.
How does that happen though? What Jaws has been out for 40 years.
I don't know. The movie's been out for a long time. I don't know. I don't know if that's just part of algorithms, and maybe you're just starting to see, more of those people on Instagram because that's the kind of stuff you're into. I don't know, but I feel the same way.
I guess a Jaws poster in Stranger Things or something. I'm trying to think of what would also show or reveal the movie to people who may not have seen it, why it would get more popular.
I like the idea of some 14-year-old watching Stranger Things and going, what is that poster? There's a shark on it. I'm checking that out. Yeah. That seems interesting.
Either way, it's a really good movie, so it makes sense that it's picked up steam and appreciated in value.
Well, I've come to the conclusion over the last couple of years, Jaws is the greatest film that's ever been made.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Is it the most? I think it's probably the most watchable and rewatchable film that I can think of.
There's very few movies that I can watch and as soon as it's over, just like
You're like, okay.
go again. Like Jaws,
Jurassic Park,
Back to the Future, even Jurassic Park. Like I like watching Jurassic Park like once or twice a year. I don't want to just have it on repeat. Jaws is like, I don't know. There's something different, something special about that. You heard it here, folks. Jaws is good.
Yeah, you heard it here first. No one's ever said it before. Jaws is a good movie.
Hey,
We think Jaws is pretty good.
breaking news: Robert Shaw can act.
He's good. Hey, there's There's a documentary about Robert Shaw. It's on YouTube, and I just
it's called
Googled,
Jaws.
Or I just looked up documentary on Robert Shaw, and like that's what it's called. It pops right up.
Okay.
It's about an hour long, and it's a lot of interviews with people that knew him, that like lived in his town, and they show his house, and they just talk about like his life, his death, and it's got interviews with a few of his children and some relatives, and it's a cool little like it's a pretty interesting thing. It's not just about his involvement with Jaws. That's a part of it, but it's pretty cool. And one of his kids is in. I sent a picture to you guys. He looks just like him, and he's like in the documentary. He's got like just a mustache, and I'm like, he's basically dressed like he's got the Quint facial hair right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was like, I want to see him dressed like Quint. It would be cool.
Is it? What did you find?
It's worth watching. It's on YouTube. Like if you type in documentary on Robert Shaw, it's like the first thing that pops up.
It looks like there's a couple different ones. Because Abby what was the one you just found?
There was something that was like an Atlanta Symphony thing that I don't think was it, called Man of Many Voices, and I don't think that was the right film.
Okay,
So
cool.
I'm gonna do.
Well, either way, Robert Shaw. Abby, you came to Jaws later in life. What about
There's
it?
a composer named Robert Shaw.
She's gonna play.
So
different
guy.
I just typed in documentary on Robert Shaw. It's the first hit, and it is called Documentary on Robert Shaw.
So we've covered the ground. There's a documentary about Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw.
Abigail, I want to drop this.
Thank you. I am so ready to drop.
What about Jaws did you gravitate to when you first saw it? When did you first see Jaws?
I first saw Jaws within the last 5 years, honestly. And when I saw it, it was one of those movies that my immediate thought was like, why the fuck haven't I seen this? Why wasn't this part of our childhood like regimen? Because it makes sense. Because it's like a dude like awesome strong movie. Like when I watch it, it has like all the elements of like a very well done, scary, funny, like just from the very beginning. Like it's funny and it feels real. The way that like people are talking over each other, all that like classic Spielberg stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just. It feels lived in and real and all the things that I love, and it's frightening and moving and inspirational. But beyond that, like once you see it the first time, when you go and read about it, there's like it's like a template and like a fucking book for people to learn from. Like there's books written about it, obviously the production and stuff, and like it's a huge. It's just got a lot of stories and cool lore and shit. So yeah, I'm into it.
I think the coolest thing and the most interesting thing outside of the film itself is that like. The book about the production could basically be called like How to Not Make a Movie, and then it turns out to be like one of the greatest films of all time.
The book that you're talking about there is called
Jake has it.
It's called Documentary about Robert Shaw.
It's called The Jaws Log.
There you go.
And it is written. This book was written by Carl Gottlieb, who is in the movie. He's like one of the council dudes. And he also wrote, he co-wrote the screenplay. And this book is like all about what it was like being on, like it literally is like a how to make a movie. And there are directors like Eli Roth. I've seen Eli Roth talk about this book a lot. Kevin Smith, like a lot of people talk about like this book having information in it that like film school doesn't teach you. And they're like
the Bible.
They talk about like using this book a lot. So like there's a lot of stuff that happened, in the production of Jaws that people have learned from and are still like telling stories about.
Yeah, like going against the odds and filming out on the water was something that was difficult, but like just just the fact that it was filmed out on the sea, like it gives it that feeling of like that huge scope and space and like believability.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's why the Jaws sequels don't feel
real neat.
the same. It's real.
Yeah.
They should put your review on the poster.
I think
Jaws.
it's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat.
It's real neat.
It's real neat.
Speaking of, I'm getting this signed next week.
What?
Talk to
getting-
us.
Tell
Yeah,
us everything.
Carl Gottlieb is going to be at SharkCon.
Oh,
So I'm bringing this book
dude.
and getting
is
it signed.
SharkCon next week?
Yeah, it's like
Holy cannoli.
it's like not this weekend but next weekend,
Okay.
the 14th and the 15th.
Well, you'll have to give us a full report of the goings on at SharkCon because
Yeah, I will.
Dude, how
Good.
annoyed is everyone going to be at the left shark costumes? Do you think are people wearing costumes to this convention?
I don't. I probably. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it's. I mean, it's not just like a. I mean, there are a few. There's like 4 Jaws people that are going to be there. There's like some Sharknado people, but for the most part, it is like people who work with aquariums or actually work with sharks or who are divers. It's like pretty much a convention just about sharks in general.
I really wish
So I
LL
don't think
Cool
it's-
J was going to be there.
Yeah, I wish Andrew Schaefer was
he would
going
be a
to
good
there.
guest. I don't think it's like a convention where people dress up. Though
Okay.
I did just shave my beard.
Yeah, you got to
So
go
you
as
have to
Quint.
dress up.
You
I
have to.
might go as Quint. I
You're gonna
think
make
it
a
might
killing.
be outside, so that's gonna be awful. What I'm gonna do is just bring my stuff with me.
Wait, hold on. I want to examine
I
something.
feel like you always have your stuff with you. for
Abby
that
just said
costume.
Jake's going to make a killing. Are you implying that Jake will be collecting money from people?
I don't know.
Just as
He's
quick.
just
I
gonna
have
get
a little tray. I'll just have a little tray out.
Fun
You get
Quint's
Betty for
next
costumes?
adventure.
Hey, I could probably just bring a table and sit at a table
in
and just
charge
like
for photos.
they won't even
Trash
notice.
bag
Yeah.
tea.
Hey, is Richard Dreyfuss going to be there?
They just
Yeah,
make a documentary
Richard Dreyfuss
about
is
you.
going to be there. There's a VIP thing going on that will get you into like a special Jaws talk. Like only people who are VIP can. There's going to be a panel, but then there's another like Q&A with Richard Dreyfuss that's only for the VIP.
Okay.
Cool.
That
Susan
sounds great.
Blackline is going to be there.
Susan Boyle's gonna be there.
Carl,
Sorry.
yeah, Susan Boyle.
Nice.
Carl Gottlieb and the guy who played Hendrix is going to be there.
Okay.
Cool. Before we move on, I wanted to recap some Jurassic Park stuff. Jake, I don't think you ever. We've had a really busy couple weeks. So obviously,
Yeah.
Jurassic World came out, and then last week we had Trevor Morgan on from Jurassic Park 3.
Yes.
We did, yeah.
He was an awesome guest. We fought through a couple audio issues, but we made it through. We got really good feedback. People seem to really enjoy listening to Trevor. It's interesting. He's a person. He's an actor, and he's still pursuing an acting career. He's doing
He's filming his own stuff, yeah.
doing
Directing,
filmmaking
yeah.
and directing now. But he's in some really big movies,
Yeah.
and when I think about things like that happened in my childhood, I'm thinking about like going on vacation with my parents and just regular normal childhood stuff. But it does feel like a lifetime ago, and it's weird. Like, you know how it's weird when you watch a home movie of yourself? You're like, oh, look, it's me as a child. I don't remember this, but I can see clearly that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it must be interesting. It's like he has very vivid memories of these times making these movies, but also there's a chance he could be flipping through the channels and Jurassic Park 3's on, and it's just like, oh, look, I'm there. There I am. With fun. I feel I definitely want to have him back on because we covered a lot of ground, and we just talked about movies and
Yeah, I want to have him
horror.
back on because I felt like he was cut from the same cloth as all of us. Like,
yeah,
I felt
he's
like he was right on
he's
the same
funny
page with
and
interests,
he's
yeah.
got a really good sense of humor about like he knows it's kind of ridiculous that he's in The Patriot and The Sixth Sense. Like he's like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. Like, but I wanted to ask him a little bit more about working with Sam Neill. I want to know about some of the more specifics of being on set and what the day to day was like because like you're working with. I don't know. These are like William H. Macy and Tia Leone, and obviously when he was talking about being handpicked by Steven Spielberg and Kathy Kennedy,
Yeah.
that's just not something I can personally relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I can't even get picked for a fucking softball team. Although Kathy Kennedy might be coaching softball soon, she's gonna need something to do.
I'd play on that team.
Jesus Christ, dude!
Yeah.
We don't have to go there, but like the reports are saying, like Disney, Bob Iger, like they're not
Things are-
happy.
yeah, it's
yeah.
trouble
I don't
at
know if you
home.
guys have heard.
I
Star
have.
Wars is
I
not
have.
in a good place right now.
Yeah.
I didn't need anybody else to tell me to know that Star Wars is not in a good place because I've seen the last 2 movies.
Ooh, fucking jeez Louise. Okay, but Jake, I wanted to so we'll have Trevor Morgan back on. If you haven't listened to the episode last week, I definitely think you should head to either iTunes or whichever podcast app you use to get your weekly downloads and check out the interview with Trevor. I wouldn't even call it an interview. We were just chatting with him. He was a good dude. Jake, you were down in Florida for another Jaws related thing a couple weeks ago, and we never got a chance to really recap that. So why don't you tell that story? And while you do that, I'm going to watch this documentary about Robert Shaw that everybody's raving about.
I'm going to try to find the right one.
Okay.
It's the one that's called Documentary on Robert Shaw.
What an inspired title. It sounds like I came up with the name of that.
Documentary.
Like, people don't realize, like, when we were coming up with Yes Have Some,
the easy thing.
My original idea was like, how about Craig, Abby, and Jake talk about things and movies and other stuff?
That's what
that was the first title. So, Jake, tell us about your trip to Destin, Florida.
A few weeks ago, an acquaintance of mine, Michael Smith, wrote a book on like the making of Jaws Part 2.
Okay.
And he, the book came out, I think last year, and he was releasing like an expanded edition. And I never picked up the first one. I was being a bad Jaws fan. I never picked up the first one. I was
okay.
like, "Oh, I'll get the
happens.
expanded." Yeah, I was like, I'll get this expanded edition. And I saw Michael posting like, "Hey, we're gonna do like a book release, a signing in Destin, Florida, which is where a good portion of Jaws 2 was filmed." And I was like, "Wait, that's not too far for me. Why have I never been to the Jaws 2 filming locations? Because they're like almost just as far away as like you guys are. It's like it was about 4 hours, you know?
Yeah.
So I took the day off work, and then I also realized like this book signing is also on like the 40th anniversary of Jaws 2. It was like on the anniversary. So I drove down like early in the morning, got up early, got there. I got there like way before the signing was going to happen. So I went ahead and tried to check out a few locations. There's a bar in town where they filmed a few scenes, and there's like a plaque inside that says, as seen in Jaws 2, and it's the same, like the bar's changed a little bit, and I think it's even like moved, but the inside is the same section.
Okay. That's cool.
And you can look at the screenshots of the movie. It's the same like shit in there. So I went in there, checked that out. There is a boat that's used in Jaws 2 that is just like that charter uses at the desk. Like it belongs to like a dive charter. So you can just go to the Destin Harbor and find that boat, and it's like they still use it, but the boat was in the movie.
I love that.
I went down to
I wish that happened.
It's such a weird thing. They have a sign that says like as seen in Jaws 2.
Like how funny would it be if like you're at like Hertz Rent-A-Car and you're like, oh, we'll just take like an SUV for the family, and they pull around like a Jurassic Park Explorer.
Yeah,
this was in the movie. You're like, what?
Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird because I went down to the harbor to find it, and it was gone. Like I found where it was supposed to be. I found the sign that had the name of the boat. It said Jaws 2 on it, but it was like they were using it. They were out on like a tour, so I was like, oh fuck. I went to the signing, and then I came back, and it was there. But I was reading like what they use that boat for, and it's one of those things where they take you out and you can dive without knowing how to scuba dive. It's like they have the like a tube attached to you, so you're still breathing the air.
Okay.
And I was like, so this boat was used in the movie, I'm pretty sure, for a scene where there are divers. I don't know if I would want to get in this boat and go out in the water and dive.
Yeah,
like
it's a little weird.
That's asking for it, I feel like.
Exactly. Like, I'm not, like...
Also, how old is it?
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
You know?
It's at least 40 years
It's
old.
a 40-year-old
I want to
boat.
get a different boat.
Yeah, like it's kind of like
Like preserve that boat. I want to buy that
I'll
bar.
stand in it, but I'm not going out in it.
like
Preserve the boat. Put it on display.
We've talked in the past. Like, would you stay overnight at the camp where they filmed Friday the 13th? And my answer is no.
No, absolutely.
Why?
I wouldn't.
Well, wait.
That's
But
fucking
here's
scary.
the thing.
I don't have
Here's the
that
thing.
thing in me.
Here's the thing. I would, because Jason's not real. Okay. Sharks are real.
Okay.
Sharks are in the ocean
Yes.
all the time.
And they're mad about the Jaws franchise, so they're seeking
mad. Yeah.
Definitely.
the
They're
screen
like, hey, we're
used-
good people.
the sc-
They don't like that boat.
Sharks are good people, but they don't like that boat.
So I get to the signing, and first of all, the signing is in like a little museum, like a little tiny. It's like in the Destin History and Fishing Museum. So
yes.
but there are a few. They got a few like some Jaws 2 memorabilia in there. Some props. They have one of the original like clackers. You know,
Okay.
is that what they're called?
Yeah.
They have one of the.
I don't know what you're talking
clackers on
about.
display.
What's
A noisemaker?
Oh, that thing.
You know, like when you make a movie and it's like.
Oh, the that thing.
And
Yeah, the clacker.
Cracker.
Yeah.
They had one of those in there. So the problem, though,
Here we
is
go.
that we're getting into it.
We're getting into the stress. Hey,
part.
here's the stress.
Here's the stress part. I'm talking to Michael Smith. I've met him in person before on Martha's Vineyard. I hadn't seen him since then, so I was like kind of catching up with him a little bit, and he goes like, "Yeah, the books aren't here," and I'm like, "Oh, did you like leave them in the hotel or something?" He's like, "No, they're gone. There's no books," and I was like, "What?"
Like they never came in?
The books, I guess, got lost in shipping or something.
Oh my God.
I don't know like the complete specifics of it, but I don't know, certain measures to make sure you had books for the book signing didn't line up somehow, and there were no books. The books were never. They were supposed to be delivered to the museum. They couldn't find them. They couldn't get a hold of track.
What are you,
the
Rain
books
Shack,
did
or
not
just
show
do
up.
like a...
But it's like this kind of thing could happen. This is not. It's not like this is like a New York Times best. This is a book about Jaws 2, and it's a small. I'm sure it's like there's probably a DIY aspect to it. So things.
No,
can
I
happen.
think I think that's exactly what happened. They had to get the book. It didn't work. The books didn't show up. I don't know why. I don't know, like, what the specifics are, but there were no books. So I'm like, oh, and he's like, he felt he was. I mean, I'm sure he was embarrassed about it. You know, like he's doing a book signing. It's the 40th anniversary. I drove 4 hours. You know, I don't think anybody else drove from that far. But
kind of one.
I mean, he flew in. You know,
Hard
he
to do.
live in Florida.
Hard
he
to
had
do
to fly
a book
in
signing
for
without books.
Yeah, I'm
Without
sure.
books.
So anyway, there are no books. He's got like he had some little like book plates that people were signing, and there was a guy there who was an extra in the movie and who also helped a little bit like with some of the diving aspects, and he signed it for me. And there was a woman there, I can't remember her name, but her father worked on the movie, and she had a book full of just Polaroids that he took on set, and they were amazing. Like I was like, can I buy this?
Yeah, you have some Polaroids from the original.
A lot of those pictures are in the book, which is cool. But I thought, I went down. There's no book, but I'm not like, it was fine. It was a fun trip. I got to see a lot of Jaws locations that I'd never been to. But I recently received my copy of the book in the mail, and Mike Smith sent me like a handwritten note, like, a thank you for coming.
Oh, good.
And he also sent me about 8 or 9 autographs from cast and crew that I wouldn't have gotten if he would have had the books with him. But he sent them kind of as like I'm sorry that this thing. So it kind of worked. It worked out actually in my favor that he had no books at the book signing.
Next time I go to a book signing, I'm like, please have no books.
Yeah.
Please have no books.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when we went to that Stephen King signing for Sleeping Beauties, like if that hadn't shown up. Just throw a few extras in.
Stephen King personally sends you a book.
That would not happen.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
it was so weird though, because after the signing was over, I drove about another hour out of the way because there were a few more filming locations, and there's one street that has just like a few houses on it, and one of those houses was used like as Amity City Hall in Jaws, and it's so weird because it's like it's just someone's house. Like I pulled up and I'm like, this is Amity Town Hall from Jaws 2, and it's just a house.
You knock on the door, you're like, ma'am,
do you appreciate this?
Do you realize you're living in a
I'm not even sure if it's residential. I'm not even sure, like if someone lives in it or if they use. It's just like whatever. Yeah. So I saw that place, took a few pictures there, and then I drove to the beach where they find the dead killer whale. Okay. Which was super nice beach, but that was it. I saw a couple of locations and then I drove home.
That's
with
fun.
No book.
That's a lot of fun, Jake. I respect the fact that you made the trip. You are not a bad Jaws fan. I'm looking at a lot of
you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, looking at your Jaws barrel and your Jaws.
You're doing okay.
Hey, the guy with the fucking front of the orca on his wall is like, I'm a bad Jaws fan. I did bad. I did really bad. But no, man, that's awesome. That's a cool experience. So
yeah, it was fun.
Cool. Well, we're gonna get moving on this. The
fireworks are starting outside.
Fireworks are starting.
So it's time to move on to the fuck budget.
I keep hearing some, and I can't tell if it's like from you or if it's here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm turning into a little kid because I wanted to run outside and watch them.
Please don't do that. We have a lot going on.
Not in the middle of this.
Just Abby, just leave.
I'm trying not to.
Here's my stress.
I want to watch the fireworks.
Like fireworks. Cool. Well, we're going to move on to the fuck budget. I did want to mention one last thing. There was an interview with Colin Trevorrow last week. People are already talking about the next Jurassic World, and he kind of insinuated that it would not be out of the realm of possibility and not, too bad of an idea to maybe suspect the return of Laura Dern and or Sam Neill to the Jurassic Park franchise. It was kind of funny. He kind of said that Ellie never got her after the first movie didn't really get her movie is what he said, because obviously Jeff Goldblum got to star in the Lost World, and then Sam Neill had Jurassic Park 3.
His time, and she had kind of a small role.
What the fuck? What if they just bring in Laura Dern and she's just a main character in the next Jurassic World?
That's the dream.
Please do that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like more than anything, I would just like to see Laura Dern and Sam Neill come back. I would rather see those two characters as the main characters of Jurassic World 3.
It opens up with a scroll. Jurassic World 3. Owen and Claire are dead.
Yeah, that was
like what? Yeah, they found Blue and Blue killed her.
Gonna be like I thought you were gonna just do the last or the Force Awakens thing and be like they're looking for Ellie Sattler.
Ellie Sattler is exile. Missing. Yes,
it's true. All of it. I would watch it.
It just ends with Grant at a remote island handing a 6-inch retractable claw to Blue.
Yeah. Well, I think it should open on Chris Pratt's farmstead, and that's where him and Claire are just dead. There's been a massacre, and that's part of the whole motivation.
Sure, kill them off. Why not?
Kill them off to begin with. Blue's motivated at that point.
Right. It's a revenge story.
Yeah.
Blue is getting revenge. Here's what happens. A bunch of pterodactyls attack Claire and Owen. They're dead. Blue needs to avenge their death and recruits Ellie Sattler, Dr. Grant, and
He
Ian
can
Malcolm.
talk now?
Blue is a she.
Blue can talk
she.
now?
I keep saying he. I'm sorry.
Blue can talk now. She can talk.
She can talk. Please forgive me.
But she also sounds just like the smart gremlin.
Okay.
From Gremlins 2.
Perfect.
Yeah,
and there's our Gremlins 3 pitch.
And there it is.
Every episode.
Well, I must avenge the death of my former owner and creator. Please, everybody, join us. Start spreading the news.
Hey, what if Jurassic World 3, the villain is the Brachiosaurus that we all think died in the movie, and it's just getting revenge for being left to die on the island?
Fuck you! It's got a molted face with a huge scar.
And it's fuck yeah,
it's
fucking
bald
pissed off and it wants
up.
to destroy.
Wait a minute.
It's like Thanos. He wants to kill the cat.
It's what I'm trying to think of the movie example where the that happens a lot in movies. I'm struggling to come up with an example, but where the hero died. It's like Two-Face a little bit and comes back.
You thought you killed me, but I'm alive and I'm evil now.
Yeah, and the Brachiosaur doesn't have a neck anymore. It just goes straight from body to head. That would be cool. It would look like Dennis Hopper in the Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
We're just spitballing here.
I like it.
Yeah. Make Jurassic Mario World.
Yeah. Perfect.
Perfect. All right.
Doing that costume.
Hey, again, you heard it here first. Before we move on to the fuck budget, I did want to tell everybody that today's episode of Yes Have Some Podcast is sponsored by the Robert Shaw documentary, available on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's the first thing if you just search. What was the search?
It's the one that
documentary on Robert Shaw.
There you go.
That's the first. That's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
In all seriousness, I did want to dedicate this episode to April O'Neil from the first Ninja Turtles movie.
For dedicating her.
What was her name? Did you get her name?
Yes, that.
Because I had a Ninja Turtles poster on my bedroom wall, and you guys ready for the confessional? Not Megan Fox.
God damn it. Do you know how upset I am right now? Hold on.
Judith Hogue is her name.
Good lord.
She was also in Armageddon for like 5 seconds.
Okay.
I had a major crush on April O'Neil in the first Ninja Turtles movie, and you guys ready for my stress confessional? The first ever YHS stress confessional?
Yeah.
I remember one night, the Ninja Turtles poster was behind, like, my bed on the wall behind me, like, directly above me. Similar to the crucifix that Nancy has in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Just for imagery, I'm saying that. I remember one night, so the poster had the 4 turtles and April in the middle, and I remember I was like obsessed with April. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. I was like, oh my God, I love her. It's cool because like she's hot, but also she gets to hang out with the turtles and she's on the news. Like she's like the holy trinity of coolness. And God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. I stood up and I licked her face on the poster.
Wow.
Yep, I licked her face.
That's not abnormal. I had a poster of Lance Bass in my room.
I had to get that. I've been weighing this.
That's less graphic than I thought this was going.
Yeah.
So. I was 7. What'd you think happened? Oh, I know.
Well, you brought up the crucifix. I was thinking of all sorts of things. So
wait, I didn't have a crucifix.
I know, but you said imagery, and I started thinking of other movies.
Okay, think of this: April O'Neil, the crucifix from Exorcist.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Moving on. You guys ready for this fuck budget?
I don't like that.
I don't like that. Well, every time you bring up Linda Blair, you know, a Jacob Walsh gets his wings.
Let's do this fuck budget. I'm excited about this one.
All right, cool. Before we move on,
I'm excited about half of this one.
Okay, listen. Before we move on to the fuck budget, I did want to say if you want to check out Yes Have Some and you enjoy the things that we do and say, make sure you're following us on Instagram and Twitter. We're all over social media. We posted a bunch today on our Instagram story. It's at YHS Podcast. That's Twitter and Instagram. Our official Facebook page is facebook.com/YesHaveSomeCast. The official Facebook discussion group for Yes Have Some is called, what's it called, Abby?
Group Therapy.
Tell us about it.
Oh, well, it's where we all go to air our grievances with, like, collectibles and movies and stress. And all the things that we talk about here are things that other people are talking about there. And it's very cool because it's a good news source for, like, a lot of shit.
And if somebody wanted to find that page, what would they do? They
would go to facebook.com. And they would search for Yes Have Some Podcast. And then they would find Group Therapy on our page. Is this a test?
How do you find it?
I'm an admin, so it's pretty easy when I get on Facebook.
All you got to do is search Yes Have Some Group Therapy on Facebook. You'll find us there. We're talking about movies, toys, all sorts of shit. And I don't know. That's all I got. You guys ready to fuck budget?
Fuck. Motherfuck.
Jake, your video is frozen right now, but it'll come around. All right, cool. Here we go. The Yes Have Some Fuck Budget is the fun segment we do every week, most weeks I should say, where we take 5 topics in the realm of movies, TV, toys, pop culture, collectibles, and we break them down. Basically, Abby and Jake have a budget of 10 fucks each, and they have to decide how many fucks they give about each of these topics. Remember, you can't spend more than 10 fucks. Allocate your fucks wisely. Abigail?
Fuck allocation. It's serious.
Fuck allocation. Oh, I get what you said. I thought you meant...
Hey, that's a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt.
Not to say fuck allocation, like don't do that, but like you should really think about your fucks and where you're allocating them.
All right, here we go.
Fuck it.
Topic number 1 in the fuck budget. It was announced this week that they are remaking Child's Play. In addition to the television series for Child's Play that is currently in development, there is going to be a remake. MGM is fast-tracking the development. It is being done by the producers of It, David Katzenberg and Seth Graham-Smith, as well as Tyler Burton-Smith. I don't know, guys. Abigail Gardner, when it comes to the Child's Play reboot, remake, whatever it is, how many fucks do you give?
I give one very confused fuck because I feel like I established last week when we were talking to Trevor Morgan that like I have a weird affection or affinity for these Child's Play movies because I did watch them all this past Halloween, and I do like the concept, and I think the movies are fun and are entertaining, and the violence is enjoyable. So I do give a fuck, but I do not like the idea for this movie because what I'm reading here is that it's going to involve a group of kids, a brand new group of kids, in a technologically advanced doll. So it's like not in the same vein, and something to do with the rights being like split up. So it just sounds bad.
It sounds bad.
It sounds bad.
Okay.
One fuck.
What else? Anything else?
I mean, there's a TV series that's still being like in production right now that's more faithful and has continuity with the original films, but this new film is going to be like a brand new Chucky doll, and I'm afraid of what that's going to be.
Right.
So.
Okay. Fair enough.
I think it's scary.
I gave this one 3 fucks.
Whoa!
Say what?
3 fucks.
Yeah, I gave it 3. I feel okay. I'll explain, but
please do.
So so the show, there's a TV show happening with Don Mancini, who is like the original writer, whatever. He's been making these movies since the first one, and that's great. They're making the show. They're going to continue. The continuity is happening with the TV show. There's this weird thing happening where the rights are split up somehow. I don't know if it's like the same kind of deal that was happening with like Friday the 13th, and they couldn't, come to any kind of agreement. But here, I guess the agreement is you can make your TV show and keep your continuity, but we also have rights to the concept or whatever. They're not very clear about it.
Right.
But I think it's very likely that this re-imaging or whatever, I think it is super. So like when you read like, oh, a group of kids, technological doll, like that sounds bad when you're thinking like
on paper it sounds bad.
On paper it sounds bad, and when you think about Child's Play, those things doesn't work.
Right.
But if they don't have the rights, then what they're doing is like this seems like a complete, like we're gonna keep the spirit, maybe not the, I don't know, like maybe the feeling, like the general basis of what Child's Play is. A doll comes to life and it's killing people. That's what Child's Play is about.
Right.
It evolved into just being about Chucky, and that's when the movies turned to not being called Child's Play anymore.
Right.
But the original Child's Play is about a scary doll come to life, and it's got to kill some kids. Right. And it
do you worry
to me
though?
like,
do you worry though that like, okay, so from what it seems like, they're going that route of like, it's the 80s, it's going to be vintage, it's going to be nostalgic. People love, like, do you worry that it could be...
Does it say that, though?
Does
it say somewhere? Like, I know they said in parentheses, like, Stranger Things, but that's just what whoever wrote the, like...
Right.
The only info we have is group of kids meet up with, have to deal with a doll. Like, that's all... It's so early, we have no clue. That little... Yeah. Stranger Things, that's just what people are saying, because like I don't think we know that yet.
Here's my okay, I have a couple different thoughts on this. So would the world be fine without any more Child's Play movies, look, whether reboot, remake, or sequel? Yes, we'd move on, we'd be fine. There's plenty of Child's Play to live on, but that's not how franchises work, so there's going to be more. I don't like the idea of, I say if you're going to remake Child's Play, you have to use Chucky. You can't... Child's Play... I feel like Chucky is to Child's Play is Friday the 13th and Jason and Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy. The character is as much a part of the name of the film without it, we had this discussion a lot when Ghostbusters came out. It's like, well, is it a Ghostbusters movie if there's no Ecto-1 and no proton packs? Like, it kind of isn't, and without the logo. So, like, I just think, like...
No, keep going.
I just think that there's certain things that, like, if it's a different doll and it's not Chucky, it's only Child's Play in the fact that that's just the name they're using. It's like, if you just... If there was a new... I don't know, I'm trying to think of another example. Like, if there was a new movie called Terminator, but it was about a different robot and a different timeline that had nothing to do with the original Terminator story. It was just called Terminator. Like,
then it might be good, because all the other Terminator movies are so fucking terrible.
I see what you're saying. But, like, I think sometimes the only, like, when you have things that are so iconic, like, I feel like it's not a bad idea for them to completely, like, first of all, it's Child's Play, okay? It's not like we're talking about Ghostbusters or Star Wars or something where it's like blasphemy to like not have proton packs. There's still like the first Child's Play. It's great. It's one of my favorite horror films. And I believe if the TV show wasn't happening, I would maybe feel a little different. But the fact is, there are 7 Chucky movies, and they're probably half and half. A few of them are pretty awful, you know? Like, they are.
Right.
They've been around for a long... The last Child's Play movie that came out is probably the worst. It's like one of the worst movies. It sucks. But the show is happening. They're going to keep going. That continuity is still happening. That Chucky is still happening. Brad Dourif is still voicing Chucky. That is still happening.
Do you think, though, what if they do it to where, like, I don't think they need it to be a reboot. What if they just, instead of a technologically advanced doll, what if it was just, like, the same kind of voodoo, the same kind of spells being, like, I don't know. There's something about this that feels more...
But Craig, listen, we don't know that yet. Like, we don't have enough information to...
There's something...
Like, they're saying, huh?
There's something about this specifically. I'm not anti-reboot. I'm not anti-remake. I'm not anti-studios trying to make money. There's something that feels specifically artificial about this. Like, a bunch of fucking studio executives looking at a list of titles and going, Child's Play, that was big, let's do that again. And it's going to come out and it's just going to be like, why did they do that? That's the vibe I get from this.
It's not like there was somebody who had a really inspired idea to do the group of kids with a futuristic doll thing, and that was like, we've got to make this movie. What you're saying is that they wanted to take the brand recognition and then...
Yeah, that is what I'm saying, but I'm not stating it as fact. I'm just saying that's the vibe I'm getting, knowing how these things tend to work. I'm not saying that it can't be good. I'm just saying that if it's not good, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be surprised if it sucks as well. Like, I'm not like, you know, I mean, I'm not like, I think I'm being pretty optimistic about it. And usually, as far as remakes go, I'm not optimistic. Like, I'm usually pretty opposite. But I feel like the plot of this, even with as little as we have, it sounds so weird to me, and so like almost like so bad that I'm like, wait, it might be fine. Like can you remember when they remade Nightmare on Elm Street, and they tried to replicate Freddy Krueger.
That's that artificiality that you're talking about. It's like not real.
That is what is awful.
That's what I'm afraid this is going to be.
Hard, like but they're not doing that. They're not trying to like make a replica of Chucky, and they're not gonna. Like, I guarantee you, it's not going to look like Chucky. It's not going to be called Chucky. The voice is going to be different. And I think that's the better way to go, because when you try
Brad Dourif will be a cab driver.
You get garbage. I think when you try to replicate something like that, you get fucking garbage like Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
This is what it's going to be. I fucking would bet my entire existence on this. You're right. It won't be Chucky, and it'll be a different doll with a different voice. But there will be a good guy doll in this movie at some point. Like, they'll be walking through a store, and Maybe not because they don't have the rights.
I bet you there won't. They don't have the rights. That's one of the reasons they're doing it. But I feel like that's a better way to go. And maybe
I'm curious to know what elements they have. Like, what do they have?
They have the name. It feels like somebody probably wrote. This is what I think happened. Somebody has a script, a horror movie that takes place in the 80s with some sort of killer doll. They bought the script and went, cool, let's make this Child's Play because we legally can, which will make us...
I don't think that's right, though, Craig. I don't think that's what... Like, I feel like we jump to that kind of thing because that happens a lot nowadays, but I don't like... To me, it doesn't feel that way. Like Child's Play at its base is a movie about a doll killing people. Like, that's what Child's Play is. Like, that's what the movie is. Like,
it's more to me.
This movie. I can't believe we're having such a good discussion about Child's Play again.
I'm fired up. There's fireworks going on outside.
There are.
And
I'm about to run outside if you guys keep fighting.
The only thing I love more than America is goddamn Chucky.
Goddamn fucking Chucky.
Dude, I love Child's Play. I always have. He's one of my favorites. It's great. But I feel like the fact that we're getting... I've had this weird shift happen with me in the last, I don't know, few years. And I think it's possibly because of Godzilla. But I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with different versions of things. Like if we have 7 Child's Play movies, which we do, we have 7 fucking Child's Play movies. It's fine if they make one that's completely different from those. Because it's it's an alternate thing. It's fine. It's not going to kill anything. It's like maybe it will be fun and maybe they can do to me some weird I've been thinking about it today. God, maybe a group of kids at this point is starting to get kind of old, but we don't know for sure yet that they're going for the Stranger Things kind of feel. But just the fact that we could get a fun movie about a killer doll, and even though they're saying technologically advanced, that doesn't mean that technologically advanced doll isn't possessed by something. Or
also, the original Chucky doll is technologically advanced because it talked and stuff. It was like Teddy Ruxpin. Abby, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, you're saying because we're getting a new TV series with Chucky in the original continuity, that kind of softens the blow. We've talked about
it makes me feel better about
Abby,
it.
Yes.
Do you think that, let's say that the original plans for Ghostbusters happened the way it did, and right after Answer the Call, there was another Ghostbusters movie that took place in the original universe, do you think that the backlash would have been as strong to Answer the Call? Or do you think people would have been like, okay, this is kind of like Jake's saying, this is a different thing, it exists on its own, and we can go back to our original Ghostbusters? Or do you think that was a completely different situation?
Well, I mean, yeah, I wish in any way, shape, or form that there were more Ghostbusters movies and that there had been another one after Answer the Call. And I think that that's I wish that had happened because whether I do think there probably would have been people, there were already people complaining about the rumors about the Chris Pratt, whatever that short period of time where there were male names attached to them, all male Ghostbusters. And yeah, people are going to complain about things. But to explore territory or to revisit, I don't know if you can compare the two, honestly.
Craig, I think the answer to your question is they're absolutely there still would have been complaining, but I don't think it would have been half as bad if people knew, this is completely different, but also an original series Ghostbusters movie is coming out. I don't think, because why care? Why care if you know the thing you really want is happening at the same time? No one would care.
Right. Cool.
Yeah, or that one led to the other.
Maybe people would still not like it, But I don't think it would be. It would have been anywhere near.
Did I tell you guys? I'm coming around. The other night I was on YouTube,
oh boy.
And I looked up all of Kevin's scenes from. There's a compilation.
Yeah, well, they're funny when you can watch just funny parts.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was like, I said things like, "This is enjoyable," and I'm having fun. Those are the two.
Yeah,
things.
good for
Try that watching the entire film.
Good for Chris Hemsworth finding his comedic timing and like skills on that.
Whatever, he's hot.
He needed it.
I was Ragnarok hard watching that.
Oh. Are we gonna
moving on to the fuck budget?
budget.
Next up, there was a giant reveal today, a July 4th reveal from our friends at Chronicle Collectibles. And folks, we're not paid to talk about this stuff. We just like good stuff. If a company that we like is putting out good shit, we're going to talk about it. Just putting that out there. If they want to pay us, I'll gladly take their money, though. It was revealed today that Chronicle Collectibles, for the first time ever, is releasing an officially licensed prop replica of the Barbasol can from Jurassic Park.
Yep.
It's never been licensed before because of, guess what? Rights issues. Barbasol has teamed up with Universal and Chronicle to make an accurate 1-to-1 scale replica. Nice. It's going to be coming out, I think, early next year. $200 price tag, which that sounds pretty good to me. Like, I'll get in on a payment plan for a $200 Barbasol can. They've released some kind of concept images. Nothing, there's no hard images yet, but it looks really good. I'm very excited about it. Jacob Walsh, when it comes to the 1-to-1 scale Barbasol can, originally owned by Dennis Nedry, given to him by, who was it? Dotson. We got Dotson here.
Dotson here.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Jake, how many fucks do you give?
I gave it 4 fucks.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, I think it's one of those
Jake
props
is loose
that,
with the fucks.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's one of those props that, like, if I was like, hey, I want to get a prop from Jurassic Park, that's one of the top you think about. I've seen people like do runs of these, you know, and even recently I was looking, somebody was selling like a 3D printed one, and I was like, oh, can I get this and like still kind of make it look metal? No, so I didn't buy it or whatever. But yeah, the pictures, they're not like completely accurate, which is weird, but I did see them say in some comments like, hey, this is just like their first. Yeah. They're still working on it.
Well, I guess they were saying, so, like...
That's not something I'm worried about, but...
No, the new... Barbasol has kind of changed, like, their can over the years, so they're kind of going... Like, when it comes out, it'll look just like the one.
Yeah, it will be fine, yeah. No, I'm super excited about it. They're saying around $200. I think that's a pretty great price. So, I want it. I'm getting it.
Cool. Abigail.
I don't care what you say, Mom.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sorry, Mom. I give this 3 fucks because this was by far the thing in the movie when I was a kid that I was the most obsessed with. I love like cylinders and like vials and like the noise it makes, and like I love the idea of a concealed like one thing looking like something but it's really something else, and the obsession with like what happened to it after the movie ended, like all of that.
We all know what happened. That guy Nick went back to the island to get it. Yeah. And then he ended up in a mansion in Switzerland.
Yeah, but you know, when you'd first see it, it was like, oh man, it's the big thing to talk about. And obviously, I want this. It's $200, so it's affordable. So I give it 3 fucks because it's very cool. I love it. I want one, and we're going to get one. So that's 3
there
of mine.
It is. And as more pictures come out, we'll see it. Let me ask you guys this, and we'll move on to the next one. Could you make an argument that the Barbasol can from Jurassic Park is the most iconic film prop, like, ever? One of them? Like, I feel like...
I think he probably
from
could,
the 90s.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's probably up there.
Here's my barometer. I think my dad would know what it was. He'd be like...
Right.
If I was like, Dad, remember the shaving... the Barbasol can from Jurassic Park. Yeah, I think...
Because it's such a neat trick when you like...
It's iconic,
yeah,
though.
Exactly.
Like, and I'm just talking about, like... I'm not talking about, like... I know somebody would be like, well, the shark from Jaws is a more iconic prop. Like, obviously. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about, like, if we're talking about, like, the barrel from Jaws or the Barbasol can or, I don't know, something else that I can't think of. Freddy Krueger's glove, maybe. That's an iconic prop. I don't know. I'm personally really excited. This is definitely one of those ones that you know is going to look good, like, in a glass case. And it's kind of eye-catching.
Yeah.
And people will come in and go, oh, is that what I think it is? And you go... You can even take it through customs. They can check it if they want. No menthol. Oh, I love it. Can we please get Wayne Knight on the podcast?
Yeah.
He would do it.
I wish.
Hey, if anybody out there's listening, if you have a connection to Wayne Knight, send us an email. yeshavesomecast@gmail.com. We won't make any Newman references. Can't promise that, actually. That's funny. All right, cool. You guys ready to move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it.
It was announced a while back that Funko Toys are partnering with some of their licensees to put out cereal, a line of cereal, and the first two come specifically horror movie cereal. The first two come out this month. Pictures were released. There's a Jason Voorhees and a Freddy Krueger cereal. God, we're living in some interesting times. Abigail Gardner, when it comes to this sugary, delicious treat with a serial killer on the box, how many fucks do you give?
Oh, hold on. I think I've had a fuck issue.
Oh boy. Get out the fuck blood test.
Oh no, I was going so fast that now I have to extract some fucks. I'm giving this one fuck an emergency fuck.
Okay.
Some of my math was off.
Should we start an emergency fuck fund?
Yeah, like my saving for a rainy fuck.
Yeah, and we at the end of the month, it's getting too complicated.
This is getting weird.
I'm
giving it one fuck. I wanted to give this more, but
also there is so many fireworks happening right
there's
now.
so many fireworks. I'm fighting my inner child, which wants to run outside really bad. But you know what? This podcast, it's the thing I've been wanting to do since I was little. So let's continue with it. I give this one fuck because these cereals look amazing. I want to get all of them. The fact that as I read this article, I found out that they're being sold at like different locations. There's all these different like pairings of the even though I don't love Funko Pops, I love the idea of collectible, like edible crossover merchandise.
Real
and
quick, do you think
this.
Funko's really regretting naming Funko Pops? Because the logical name for the cereal would be Funko Pops?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Little
Yeah,
existential
I'm sure
crisis.
they're regretting.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
think
they're so
Funko's
mad.
regretting nothing right now. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Abby, which one do you want more, Jason or Freddy?
I think I want the Freddies.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, it wouldn't be the first time they put a child molester on a box of cereal. I've had Frosted Flakes. Jacob Walsh, when it comes to Funko cereal.
I didn't think Subway made a cereal.
What? What did I do? Jacob?
I gave it a...
I'm sorry
gave
to
it-
Tony the Tiger, but come on. He's always popping up. Who wears a handkerchief around their neck
He's
like
great.
Alan Grant.
Shit.
I
it's
gave
not
it
like he
one
ever hung out with
fuck.
kids.
It's not like he ever had a cereal.
Jake, I'm
Sorry, Jake. How many fucks?
Hey, it's fine. You guys go ahead. I gave it...
I don't get fireworks.
I gave it one. I don't really... I don't know, like... I like cereal. I like prizes in my cereal. All these cereals have marshmallows in them, so it's not cereal I'm gonna eat. I don't like the designs on the boxes. I'm a little under, like, it's cool knowing that there's gonna be cereal based on like horror movies. Everything else I don't like about it. Like I don't know if maybe I'll buy these. I don't know, but aren't they like $15 a box or something?
Yeah.
That seems like a lot of money. For
I think
cereal
out of...
I'm not gonna eat.
Yeah. There's a couple... So, Freddy and Jason are coming out. They're going to be available at specialty shops. Then they've got Elvira, Beetlejuice. Who are the other ones? Pennywise. Maybe a couple
I mean, there's
more.
a
The
bunch.
Pennywise one I
There's-
thought, yeah, that's kind of cool.
They're coming out with a lot of them, and like, also are the little toys inside just little Funko Pops?
Yeah, they are.
I don't want that. I don't want. I probably won't buy any of these. So
Right.
one fuck, and that fuck is just because the word cereal is involved.
I will buy all of these and have them as permanent displays on top of the refrigerator. Because how cool will that
Hey,
be?
if they
Wait, it
if they
says
do a
each
Jaws
box
one, if they
contains
do
a
a Jaws one, I'll buy that one.
I think what it says is that there's a collectible prize that's separate from the collectible figure.
Oh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, that's interesting.
You're gonna want 2 boxes, 1 to 2. Okay, anyway.
Hey, maybe the Jason cereal comes with like a little like 2 camp counselors in a sleeping bag.
Inside the boxes.
And you just and
Hope so.
and there's a tree on the back of the box that you cut out.
And all the cereals all smashed up in little bits.
Yeah.
From the sleeping bag.
Why don't they have me on the Funko marketing
That's such a
team?
good idea.
I'd be like, all right, guys, we want Peter Venkman Ghostbusters Funko Pop cereal, and it comes with a syringe full of Thorazine.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Hey,
Cool.
I'm full of them.
Uh-huh.
You guys ready to move on to the next one?
No. Yeah. Let's
I haven't
keep it-
recovered
ready.
from my child. I did not think I was going to get that passionate about Child's Play tonight.
God, you did.
Me either, dude. It was good though.
Did I
Yeah.
freak you guys out? I'm on a roll.
Yeah.
Call me butter.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that.
Vegan butter.
Okay.
Next up, I cannot wait to talk about this one. There's a new movie coming out. It's called Summer of '84. It's a horror movie about a serial killer in the summer of '84. That's basically what I got out of it. Kind of has a Stranger Things vibe. They're kind of saying it's like The Burbs, like, the whole thing.
But it's not.
But it's not. Like, the whole thing with The Burbs are like, aliens exist and they could be your neighbors. Like, I don't know.
Also, okay, I'll get into it in a second. Go ahead.
Okay.
The trailer's out. I watched it. You guys watched it. Abigail Gardner, you're starting us off. When it comes to the Summer of '84 film trailer, how many fucks do you give?
I give 0 fucks to this because it seems super derivative of like other movies that I've seen. It doesn't seem extremely original, and it seems a little cheesy, and also it doesn't look very scary to me. So I give it 0 fucks. It felt like Stranger Things, but only in like the visuals. When you see kids with flashlights, like it just felt extremely like hackneyed at this point and like overdone. And it also had like, it felt like it might have a heart to it or something. Like, I don't know. It doesn't interest me. So I'm giving it 0 fucks.
All right. Jacob Walsh, how many fucks?
Yeah. I also gave it 0 fucks. It doesn't look fun or funny or scary or new. It looks crappy. And like, also saying like, when I saw the headline for it, it says like Stranger Things meets The Burbs, and Stranger Things, okay, fine, but The Burbs is very funny. It's a very like fun movie to watch. The Burbs is very good. There is 0 things happening in that trailer that make me think of The Burbs. Nothing. There's nothing in that trailer that's anything like The Burbs. This movie looks like crap. 0 fucks.
I am going to. You guys ready for my hot take?
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
I have never wanted to give less fucks to a thing than this trailer.
It offends you?
I'm also going to, you know what? I'm going to take my 0 fucks back. I'm going to give it -3 fucks. Craig, you owe me 3 fucks.
No, that's
You're
allowed.
putting it in debt.
That's a fuck debt. Listen, I had heard about this trailer earlier this week. I guess there was a teaser trailer a while back, but this is the first time I saw the full trailer. It is so, like, when, like, Scream came out, and then I Know What You Did Last Summer came out, and then, like, Urban Legend and Final Destination, and it kept
You're
going
getting
on.
casseroles.
We're way past that. This is, like, somebody watched Stranger Things.
Somebody's mom watched Stranger Things.
Yeah,
It's like, hey, what's like cool?
Yeah, it's like,
what do we put together that's like cool for these kids, huh?
The kids don't look like they're in the 80s.
No.
And it's
They
all like
in the early 2000s.
It's all dumb looking white people. It looks low budget. The only person I recognize is that dude.
The dude from
Rich Summer. He's in Mad Men.
Yes, and Glow. He's in Glow.
Yeah, and he's a good actor. He actually randomly was just in town. He was a guest at the Southern Fried Gaming Expo this year. He's
cool. Why didn't we go?
We could have got our Summer of '84.
Fuck, dude. He was there?
He was there.
I'm upset now. This is my stress.
He's a gamer. He's got a gaming podcast apparently. But anyways, yeah. But the movie looks like they're implying that he's like a cop in the movie, and the trailer's implying that like he's the killer.
Oh yeah.
Like hard.
Oh, horde. But then the trailer's like, but also no, it's a surprise. So don't.
It just looks not good. It looks like the derivative of the derivative. There's like all these. It's like 5th or 6th rate Stranger Things, and maybe watching this trailer is what scared me more about Child's Play, because listen,
maybe it made you feel like maybe watching this trailer. Go ahead.
Stranger Things is good. It's great. Like the 2nd season wasn't as good, but Stranger Things is great. It was phenomenal. It and Stranger Things were being made at the same time. I could just see Hollywood just licking their lips at like, ooh, this is what people want. They want kids in the 80s. And
in conflict,
and everything.
adult situations.
It's what happens with everything.
It's what happens with everything, but it's so...
Beat it to death.
I think because I hold that, like, that time period and the films made in that time period at such high regard, I feel very protective of it. Like, if you're going to do it right. All those kids look like they walked out of The Gap in, like, 1998.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't... And I feel bad because I don't want to shit on somebody's, like, passion project, and I get that.
Is it someone's passion
Well, it's
project?
a smaller movie, and it's getting a limited release, but it just doesn't feel good. I got bad vibes watching that.
That shit's getting forgotten.
And Abby, after I sent you guys the fuck bunch, I walked in the other room. I was like, "Hey, Abby, did you watch that trailer?" She goes, "I can't right now.
Yeah.
I just can't."
It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
It's just not good. Having said that, I can't wait to see it so we can rip it the fuck apart.
Yes.
Okay, cool. You guys ready for number cinco?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right. This one's silly, but it made news over the last week, and I felt like we should bring it up because it kind of ties into some of the stuff that we talk about. Mm-hmm. There is a supposed fan campaign, and I hate to give this any credit, but it's at RemakeTheLastJedi.com, where supposedly these folks have gotten a group of producers to pledge $200 million to remake The Last Jedi and do it justice. Now, before I throw you guys the fuck budget, I want to say something. It costs a lot more than $200 million to make a Star Wars movie. You fucking idiots. Okay.
Okay.
Having said that, when it comes to Rian Johnson getting the boot and Kathy Kennedy getting the boot and The Last Jedi finally being remade after all these months of pain, Jacob Walsh, guys, am I on fire tonight?
I think so.
This is my coming out episode. Mm-hmm. I've been watching Glow all week, and I feel like girl power is running through my blood.
Yeah.
Jake, how many fucks do you give about this?
Hold on. Before I tell you how many fucks, this can't be like a serious thing, right? Like this is
the
a
website's
joke, right?
pretty
like,
nice.
Maybe
it's a convincing
argument.
argument.
This website and this whole thing was made by someone is kind of a joke, but then people are actually like into it.
Well, here's the thing: they're not actually raising money. They're taking pledges. Pledges are
a proof.
They're nothing.
Intent.
Yeah,
that
it's
you
like
care.
saying, "Oh, I'll give you $50," but you're not giving them any money.
Yeah.
The only reason I included this on the fuck budget is because legitimate news outlets picked up on it this week.
Yeah,
and people are talking about it as if this is a thing that could possibly happen.
Yeah.
Having said all that, Jake, how many fucks do you give?
I gave it 0 fucks because it's dumb. It's just dumb. It's silly. Whether you like the movie or not, any movie, Star Wars, any movie. I didn't. This is not my favorite Star Wars movie. I told you know what? I watched this movie when it hit Netflix, and I think maybe 20% of this movie is amazing. Like 20% of The Last Jedi is fucking like phenomenal. Yeah. And then I think maybe 20% of it is garbage.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of it's just like whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would not ever want it remade. That's stupid. Like the movie's out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't like that. That's just such a weird concept that someone would be like, no, do it again.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Jake,
if the movie is made, like that is it. That's what happens.
Ryan Johnson's a poo-poo head.
If down the road they want to like maybe slightly retcon something, then then that's their idea. That's their choice down the road. But just like remake it, that doesn't do anything. This movie is out. It's fucking out. It doesn't. Even if they remade it, this movie still exists.
Yes.
You still had to watch it. It's still It's still out there. So it's dumb. It's just fucking dumb. I didn't even like read the article that when you sent us this. I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking read this because it's just
did,
poopy.
and that's why I gave it 5 fucks. So I gave it all the fucks I had left. I told you I had a fuck allocation problem.
Wait a minute,
dude. Reading this, I like petitions. I like the idea that we can change something. I remember on LiveJournal when there was like repost the petition to get all the Nicktoons and get Hey Dude on like DVD. I remember that. And also this reminds me of when like there was a Creed concert.
First we get Hey Dude on DVD, then we get The Last Jedi remade.
Then we get it remade. No, but the other thing I was bringing up is
we're going to rename the original the second to Last Jedi.
There was a Creed concert where Scott Sapp was like very intoxicated. The fans sued him for his performance. And this kind of reminds me of that. I just like the idea that somebody put this amount of time and effort into explaining their argument. And I did read it, and it made me laugh, and it almost gave me hope for like, I was like, wait, they could redo it. But obviously it's ridiculous.
Well, do you want to read it? What does it say?
The whole thing. It's a long thing.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Go to the.
Well, what was the synopsis? Like, what was the point they were making?
That it was terrible character development, and that people didn't relate to these characters, and that's like one of the biggest things about Star Wars that people love, which is one of my arguments against the movie. So it was basically hitting on points that I personally agree with. So I gave it all my fucks, and I kind of wish it was real, even though it's ridiculous. And I know that a movie is not going to be remade because there is a petition, but it's funny that it exists. And it shows that there's a lot of people who are not happy, so maybe that will be a little force for change. So
I like how you just plugged that.
I wish the camera was on now.
Abby, I like your explanation, man.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Well, here's the thing. Like, here's the real deal. No, of course they're not going to remake The Last Jedi. But from all accounts, Disney and Lucasfilm are at a real crossroads right now because the golden goose that is Star Wars is not really
goosing anymore.
It's not goosing. It's not
making any eggs.
It's more like Goose from Top Gun at this point.
Whew.
Ooh.
But I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next couple years. I'm wondering if they're going to push back Episode 9 like another year. Because like I think we went peak Star Wars really quickly, and like I think people just got burnt out, and I don't know. Even if Solo was like really, really, really great, like I wonder if people are just like, you know what? It's too much, too fast, and they just need to slow down.
You can't have Thanksgiving like 4 times a year.
I got an idea.
Okay.
So we're all aware of like all the Evil Dead movies, right? Have you guys seen all 3 of the Evil Dead movies?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's fine.
You know how when Evil Dead 2, so you know how like the first, I don't know, 10 minutes of Evil Dead 2 is literally just a recap of the first Evil Dead, but without all the extra people?
Yeah.
What if the last episode is just that? What if they just do like, all right, we're going to take the first 15 minutes of the new Star Wars movie, and we're going to completely, we're not going to call it a recap. We're just going to start the movie out. We're going to recap the first, but change a few things.
Yeah.
And then that makes it like, that's what Evil Dead did. Like, they changed shit, but it's the same. It's such a weird, just do that. Just recap it and change all the dumb shit you did.
Yeah. Lucasfilm can do that.
Yeah.
This guy can't. Whoever started this can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, here's the thing. What's going to happen with Star Wars more than likely is that Episode 9 will come out. It'll address some of the... I guess where I get confused is my complaints. The things I don't like about The Last Jedi don't seem to... Like, and you guys too, like, people... The biggest fanboy reaction to The Last Jedi that they have an issue with is Luke Skywalker in that movie. And I don't... Though I do think if you're going to kill him off, you need to have him have a actual lightsaber battle of some sort. Like, I don't
want to have that many question marks, like, leaving the movie. I don't want to feel that just unsure or dissatisfied or unclear on things, and that's how I felt.
Dude, Last Jedi.
I'm wearing a Porg shirt. I'm holding a Porg. It doesn't work. I wish it did.
The battery's out.
Battery's dead. But yeah, dude, I wanted to like this movie, and there are good parts, like you said.
But it's like if you look at the complaints about The Last Jedi, it's like the casino shit, Rose, separating Finn and Rey. There's like not revealing Rey's parents, copping out. Like there's like a bunch of complaints.
Canto Bite.
Yeah, there's complaints where I'm like, okay, I can see where you're coming from, but like I kind of like majority of the stuff with Luke in that movie. Even
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
I think the Luke. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The Porg works, guys.
Guys, that legitimately scared the shit out of me.
Me too, Jake, because I thought it was dead.
Look, I'm in my toy room and I immediately looked up at my Chucky doll because I was like, fuck, it hurt us.
Oh, it's still going.
Hey, maybe. Oh my God.
What if the Porg is the new technologically advanced Chucky doll? And we're the kids, and this is the movie. And the fireworks are going off. We're all gonna die.
Well, there it is, folks. That was your 4th of July fuck budget. I hope these fireworks aren't
It's
fucking...
the grand finale. I'm missing it for all of you. It's worth
give us
it.
your own grand finale. God damn it.
Guys, I love this podcast. We did 106 episodes, so good
go.
job. Jake, will you clap?
What?
Just do a quick clap.
Oh, we're gonna do a little clap?
Inside joke.
So listen, thank you guys for fuck budgeting. Couple little news and notes, and then we're gonna sign off. We've got some announcements coming up. Not gonna make them yet, but stay tuned to YHS social media for some of the things that we have coming up, and we got some fun stuff planned. And,
We got our own petitions.
We're gonna have a petition to remake,
to redo all 105 episodes
to
that came
recast
before.
the three of us.
Yes. I just walk in one day, I'm like, why is Jake Gyllenhaal, Gary Busey, and Scarlett Johansson?
Whoa, I get to be Scarlett Johansson.
God,
no, I do.
I'm a
You're
star.
Gary Busey.
I'm Gary Busey.
Ever getting Gary Busey on the show?
If he can figure out how to use a phone.
Fuck.
Without eating it?
Yeah.
Hey.
I ate it.
It was good.
I ate the phone. Okay, cool.
Too.
His crazy eyes coming through the monitor. Listen, we do have some fun stuff coming up, including Dragon Con and PKE Sirs, so we're gonna be talking about that in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But
Fuck.
Really, all I
Dragon
gotta
Con.
say is, happy 4th of July. Be safe.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't put any burning embers in the trash can. Although it's too late at this point if you did that, because this is coming out tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's already over.
Happy 5th of July. Jake, anything else before we sign off?
Just watch Jaws.
All right, go watch
Just
Jaws.
watch it.
Just watch it. For Abigail
It's
Gardner,
pretty neat.
Jacob Walsh, my name is Craig Goldberg. You can find Yes Have Some on social media at YHS Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook.com/YesHaveCast. Yes Have Some Cast. Don't go to Yes Have Cast. That's a medical website. It's a cast.
It's like an overseas cast ordering. You get it
Yes.
from another country.
That's a fan
Yes,
site
Cast.
for Eddie from It.
Yeah.
Oh. That's a good idea.
Lovers and Losers.
It probably exists.
Next week
It's
we're
run
going to
by a
talk about
13-year-old.
it and all the new casting and all the filming. Facebook.com/YesHaveSomeCast and also the official Facebook group for Yes Have Some. Yes Have Some Group Therapy. Abby explained how to get there
I did
earlier.
such a good job of explaining that for all
It's a
of
good
you.
thing you don't run MapQuest.
No.
Or I'll be
You
fucked.
just, where you look for the varsity and then you turn left.
And of course, you can always find us on iTunes or whatever podcast app that you use. Make sure when you find us, you're downloading, you're subscribing. And if you feel like you like what you hear, leave a review because we like to know what y'all think about us.
And it's free.
It's free to leave a review.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost
you a thing.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we have. I got pretty passionate about Child's Play this week. I think I need a drink.
Okay.
I hear more fireworks.
Yeah, I
Not an
can go
alcohol
watch the
drink.
fireworks.
I need a drink like a Chucky drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a chocolate milk?
Yeah, like a chocolate milk.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Me
Dairy
too.
free. A vegan dairy free chocolate milk for me
For
and
Jake.
Chucky to share before bed. We will see everybody next week. Oh! I'm going to start a petition to remake the Child's Play remake that hasn't been made yet. That's what I'm going to do.
Stay tuned. That's the big announcement, guys.
All right. We'll see everybody next week.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.